長官ユナイテッドエンパイア今日は試合があったそして彼がエンパイアの応援してくれるんですよみんなブローキンケーブルポッドキャストよろしく
What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Broken Tables podcast. This is episode number 89. I am your host, Jeffrey Vegas, here with our co-host, as always, King Rome. How you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing pretty good.
That's great to hear. Great to hear. We're here tonight with our AEW Rampage review. What a good Rampage it was. You know, this wasn't a live one, but at a certain point, the wife actually asked me, "Is this live or not?" Because I don't think tonight you could really tell. It felt like one of the live ones. Did you feel that way at all?
Yeah, I thought it was a really good episode of Rampage. They've been on this roll with Rampage being pretty high quality, and I think tonight followed suit with that.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I even had to look around the screen for the live. You know how they kind of write live up in the top corner, and once I didn't see it, I was kind of like shocked. I was like, "Oh, it isn't. It's not a live one," but it sort of felt like it.
Yeah, I think the big reason for that is tonight it wasn't live, but they weren't afraid to kind of further storylines. I feel like when Rampage, in early Rampage days, they would just lay out 3 really good wrestling matches that may be tied into some storyline somewhere. But tonight you see the Jungle Boy segment, you see the House of Black, other little things, Hook and Lee Moriarty, which we'll all get into, but it just felt like they weren't afraid to move storylines forward, even though it was a taped show.
Yeah.
I think that's why. Excuse me.
I agree. So let's say what's up to everybody in chat. So far we got Coach Nick. What's up, Coach Nick? How you doing tonight, sir? If you are in chat, you gotta, at least say hi or something, or we will not know that you were there. Tonight we started off with Luchasaurus versus Christian Cage. Jungle Boy had said on Dynamite that he had a challenge for them. So they were the ones in the ring waiting for him, and Christian said, "Listen, man, you got something to say to us? We're here waiting." So, kind of stupidly, might I add, but we'll get to that later. Jungle Boy makes his way to the ring. And he lays down his challenge of at Full Gear. He wants Luchasaurus in a steel cage match. And remember, I was saying we got to have some sort of a stipulation for this match. I was expecting them to do a little bit of a gimmick, with the whole jungle and dinosaur type thing, but no worries. A cage match is just fine. It kind of, gonna have a monster in the cage. It works for me. What up, Sabak?
Yeah. What's up, man? How you doing? Jeff, to be fair, I think I know you want them to go this kind of goofy, like, oh, it's a jungle match. Like, they're not going to have a Punjabi prison match. I'm sorry, Jeff.
No.
So
I agree.
and look, I don't mind it sometimes. Like, I did enjoy that that arcade match that they had. Like I forget what it was called, but it was Orange Cassidy and I think it was Kip or Miro. Like back in the day, that was really good. But I think at the end of the day, the gimmick matches are supposed to be more serious, and I think that's where you see wrestling companies make mistakes. If you look in the past and you look at gimmick matches, there's a fine line between something people want to see and something that's just stupid. And companies battle that all the time. WCW created the War Games, but then turned around and had a tequila on a pole match. You know what I mean? And the WWE did the same thing. They created things like Hell in a Cell, the Elimination Chamber, but they also fucking created the Kennel in a Cell. So I mean, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
So I like the idea for this to be a cage match. I'm a little biased right now because being there live, I don't think I've ever been to a wrestling show for a cage match. So I'm interested to see how much we're gonna be able to see.
Yeah,
Um,
good point.
yeah, so like in a bias sense, like normally I'm all for a cage match, but being there live, I am a little wondering, like, man, would this be more enjoyable if this was like a Falls Count Anywhere? Which I mean, I guess that can also get kind of obstructed view as well. So I don't know. I'm excited for this though. I think that's really good. Um, you said you thought that Jack Perry coming out was I think you said was stupid, or the idea to
Yeah,
do it.
one of the announcers said it later on as well. They were like, "That was dumb."
Well, I mean, I guess so, but at the end of the day, he's a baby face.
Yeah.
He's gonna want to man to man, eye to eye, stare
Well,
them down. So
I wasn't saying it as if like the segment was dumb. I was just kind of like, "Yeah, hey, Jungle Boy, that wasn't very smart." You know what I mean? But it made sense perfectly in the show. Like nothing against
gotcha,
that.
gotcha. Okay.
So Christian Cage says that Luchasaurus is the real pillar, and they accept the challenge. Christian baits him into attacking him, using some of the insults to his father again. Um, Jungle Boy takes a huge choke slam onto a chair. That shit was nasty.
Yeah, and Coach, I agree. I'm also wondering how visually it's going to go down. And we're a little bit higher up. We're not like ground level like we were for Dynamite. So maybe that'll help it a little bit, or maybe it'll hurt it a little bit. I don't really know.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
not sure.
but I'm sure we'll have a good time. I mean, I'm sure the screens will at the very least show what we're seeing, inside the ring. So I'm not super concerned about it. It
Yeah.
is what it is.
If
Uh,
anything, we'll have a good shot of the screen. You know what I mean?
right. But no, I really like this segment. I like this promo. I think Christian and Jack Perry have been doing great work. Christian's injury obviously kind of hampered the plans a little bit, so they slowed it down. So the storyline's cooled off. I don't think it's cooled off a lot. It's cooled off a little bit. I think that it is the right time to do this last match between Luchasaurus and Jack Perry. My question is where they go afterwards, because obviously the end game for this is Jack Perry versus Christian Cage. Where do we like what are we doing in the meantime? Because I mean Christian Cage is probably going to be out for another 6 or 7 months.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. I'm intrigued to see what they do. I don't know if they're going to keep this rivalry going past Full Gear, but I mean I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Now, I'm actually wondering here, like, let's kind of do some fantasy booking real fast. I'm actually wondering if we get some sort of, Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy turn on Christian Cage, like, would he be able to take a choke slam or something like that with, the arm still in the sling? Because it would be good to see these guys not feuding anymore because they were together for so long, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not sure.
So, I mean, in terms of fantasy booking, I would not put them back together. I think at that point you're being a little wishy-washy. I think that they went
Yeah.
from faking that he was joining to actually joining and then to come back and say he's faking it. I don't think that really would work. So I would say don't do that. So yeah, I mean, I just wouldn't do it all around. Now, can
Yeah.
Christian take a bump? I think he could if done correctly. I think he could take a chair shot. I think he could take could he take a choke slam? I mean, yeah, I think if protected properly, I don't see why not. I mean, obviously that's a little bit more dicey. I think a chair shot would be the kind of thing you could see on next Saturday.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm just trying to figure out where they're going with it, but we shall see.
Yeah, I mean, they could just split them off and have them go separate paths, and 6 months from now, maybe they write Christian off for a little bit so people forget about him, and then he costs Jack Perry. I mean, again, we were fantasy booking about MJF, and I think MJF's going to win the title, next Saturday, and then he's going to go on this run here where I think he's going to hold it till 2024. I really do think that.
Oh yeah.
You could have Jack Perry almost get him, and then Christian costs him that match. That's something I could see have happen. Where would I have that happen? I mean, 6 months, that would pretty much line up with Double or Nothing. Maybe the main event of Double or Nothing is Jack Perry and MJF. I don't know.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
That's what I would do anyway.
I believe that is how you spell concerto, Coach. I'm not sure it's an actual word, so I think you get to decide how it's spelled yourself.
Yeah.
All right, next up we had Lexi Nair with the Death Triangle backstage. Essentially, we had Pac playing the heel saying, listen, boys, there's a reason that you're not the All-Atlantic champion. There's a reason you're not the world champion. You know, he's like, we need to win by any means necessary. We got a target on our backs. You know, I agree with Pac here, man. I really do.
I mean, I guess. I mean, yeah. I mean, that's the heel mindset. So I mean,
yeah.
no. I mean, I thought it's a really smart segment, really well done. They're obviously. I think we're leading. I don't see the Lucha Brothers turning heel. I mean, they could, I guess, but I don't know if that's gonna. I don't know. They could do that. So I don't want to say it's not gonna happen. This is one of those storylines where you could see it swerve either way. You could see, I could see them losing the trios titles at Full Gear, yeah, and them splitting up. But
I don't want
that's
to alarm anybody, but I just saw like a ghost in front of my face and it just went up to my ceiling. I shit you not. If anybody is watching this and can rewind like 15, 20 seconds, tell me if you can see that on the camera. Holy shit, that was weird.
what? What are you talking about? Hold on.
Dude, like this little ball of fucking light just flew in front of my face and I can't tell if it was caught on the camera.
All right, hold on. I'm looking.
It made my eyes water, bro. Like I just got the chills and my eyes watered. That was
Look,
insane.
I would love to do a Ghost Hunter show, but I didn't know we were
Holy
doing that
shit,
right now.
that was insane. Okay, we can continue.
I'm looking through now. I mean, let's see. But no, I think it's a really well done promo. I think Pac really killed this segment. Super well done. I think there's something definitely going to happen at Full Gear. I think they have a few different options that they can go with. And I think all roads should lead to Death Triangle splitting up and also and them dropping the titles at whatchamacallit at Full Gear.
Yeah. Do you think it's gonna be the Elite, man? Like,
I could see it being the Elite. I could also see it being the House of Black, personally.
oh, there we go. Because they had that there was a video package for them that we'll get to. All right, all right.
Let's see, Jeff. Hold on, Jeff.
I'm definitely going back to look at it.
Jeff, I don't want to alarm you, but I actually see a white orb flying around you, and then it goes up when you look up.
Dude, I saw it clear as day right in front of me.
Now,
dude.
I mean, so here's the thing, right? In terms of, this is a wrestling podcast, but fuck it, we've done worse. I would say that I believe in ghosts, but I consider myself to be a skeptical believer. I think a lot of things can be explained away. I don't think it's like everything is a ghost.
No, yeah, like 99.99%, yeah.
I'm looking at what you just dealt with, and I mean, it looks like it could be an insect, could be some, I don't know, the dust. It was pretty big dust.
I'm saying, like, I was looking at it, like, not on the screen. It was a ball of light, like.
It did look like something like that, and the way it kind of like it came in and down around you, and then it went up, and then when it went up, you looked at it and you followed.
What's the timestamp?
Oh, you know what? I should have saved it.
That's all right. I'll find it. It was real early. Oof, that was wild. My eyes are still watering.
Well, the problem is with this being a live video, there's not really a timestamp. It's just how far out I am from it being live. So yeah, no
worries.
Yeah. After the end of the show, go back and watch. I mean, I do see it. It's there. So I mean, I don't know.
Coach, it's right when I like look up into the air. It
Anyways.
All right, so next up we had Brian Cage with Prince Nana versus Dante Martin. And dude, I loved this. I really, really, really enjoyed this match. And you know me, a lot of times, like with Dante Martin, his stuff is impressive, but something about him, I'm just kind of like, okay, he's cool, but all right, meh. You know what I mean? He's almost kind of like mid to me. This was incredible. The way that he was like, the story in this match was he's using his agility and his quickness to actually get an edge up on Brian Cage, who looks like an absolute freaking monster. It was good. I freaking love this.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's a tale as old as time, the David Goliath matchup. You pretty much nailed what I'm thinking. I mean, I do see Dante as kind of a mid Carter. I mean, obvious his character and his mic skills are what he needs to improve on to kind of elevate him to that next level. But I mean, yeah, I agree. I thought this was a really fun match. Again, man, these Rampage matches are just they're really good, and this was a tournament match, so it meant something. Like you said, the storytelling was really good with Dante. You know, he's a smaller guy, but he can use his agility, and he can win this match. At the end of the day, he comes up short. Um,
Yep.
but I just want to point out and recognize the spot where Dante dives out of the ring, and Brian Cage fucking catches him, like in a suplex, and not
That
like,
was
and not like,
insane.
and not like in a way where like sometimes you know how like wrestlers do moves and they don't really like, kind of like when Randy Orton did the RKO on Matt Sydal, when Sydal does the shooting star and Randy like RKOs him, like Randy really just kind of jumps up and lands with him, like
Yeah.
it's cool and all, but like no, like this wasn't Cage falling with him as he's coming. Cage catches him and
Dude,
holds him vertically, like
there was a moment of just catch and hold, and it was like a freeze frame,
yeah.
but it was actually like him just catching him, and he did it like it was nothing. Like it was nothing.
Yeah,
That was.
I thought
I posted that in Discord. There's a nice clip of it in Discord. I was like, they had to post this.
yeah, coach in the chat saying he just needs more charisma. Dante does. He
Yeah.
thinks that's what he's missing. And then coach also says he absolutely loves seeing Brian Cage on TV again. He deserves it. There's really no one like Cage. Yeah, I completely agree with that. I think that it's been super awesome to see Cage back on TV. Sabak saying
He's like a puppy with big paws.
like a puppy with big paws. That's an interesting way of looking at it. I've never thought about that.
So
Sorry, go
I'm
ahead.
thinking if Sabak is using a metaphor here, like he's a puppy, so saying he's still young, and big paws means he's gonna grow into a big dog, right? So saying he's pretty much saying you can tell he's gonna be amazing when he gets older. Like, yeah, I totally agree with that.
Yeah, I can see. I mean, he's only 21. Like, I don't want to.
Oh my God, is he really?
He's only 21. I'm not like saying that I'm out on Dante Martin overall. I'm just giving that, you know, constructive feedback as a 20 plus year wrestling fan. You know what
I
I've
thought he
seen.
was at least 24 or 25. That's wild.
I mean, if you want to fact check me, but I'm pretty sure he's 21. I could be wrong. I don't think I am though. But yeah, I thought that this was a great match, a lot of fun. Sabak confirming that that's what he meant when he said puppy with big paws. Coach agreeing with him, just needs time. Yeah, I agree. And I think he's getting a good spotlight here in this tournament. He keeps getting these little opportunities. He keeps coming up short, but that's okay. Because again,
he looks great in them.
He's young. He's a young kid, so he'll get there. But no, I've really loved Brian Cage right now. He's just on such a roll, and it's just really great to see him back on TV. I really feel good about him being a mainstay, probably with Ring of Honor, come January.
Yeah, you know, and this is gonna sound weird, but Coach saying he needs some charisma and that's what he's missing. It sounds kind of weird, but like the first thing I thought of in my head was Darby Allin, and the way that he gets his charisma from like that attitude that he has and like the face paint type thing. I'm wondering if there could be some sort of character that Dante could evolve into that would give him that charisma. Like, you know, I'm not saying like paint your face like Darby, you know what I mean? But there's got to be something that he can do character wise, look wise, that can give it to him. You know what I mean?
See, the problem is I hear you and I understand, but the thing is, the trouble that I just had is I just imagine Dante Martin being Darby Allin when you saying that. It's just
Yeah, I know.
so ridiculous. I don't know. I think I get what you're saying, but that's something that at the end of the day, Dante's gonna have to figure out on his own. I don't know if it necessarily needs to be a big character. But I mean, you know, and all great wrestlers figure it out, and I think he definitely has the tools
Yeah.
to figure it out. I mean, it's kind of on him and his development, and we'll see where he goes from here.
He's definitely got the help if he needs it. He's got Jericho there. He's got Danielson there. All he's got to do is ask. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Should be good in the future. I can't wait. All right, so Dante misses a huge 450 splash, and Brian Cage winds up hitting a nasty Weapon X. I don't know if I'd ever seen him do that. I know he uses it all off on the indies and stuff, but that was the first time I've seen that Weapon X move. That was nasty. So Brian Cage picks up the win. Great match. Dante's got a bright future ahead of him, and I'm interested to see where Brian Cage goes in this. I'm thinking he might make it to the finals on his side.
Yeah, I mean, possibly we'll have to see what happens. But I also kind of want to give a quick little shout out to my guy Prince Nana, who at the end of the match had me I love this guy so much,
Oh, he's
and he was
great.
just making me laugh because so Brian Cage wins and the ref's trying to raise Brian Cage's hand, and Nana's like, "Get away from him, he's my guy." And then he raises Brian's hand, and the ref goes onto the other side to raise Brian's hand, and Nana's like, "What? Well, I told you. What do you do? Get out of here! You know, the embassy forever." And I was just, yeah, I love Prince Nana so much. I'm so
Yeah,
happy that
he's a
he's
good
here.
addition. I like him.
I'm so happy he's here again. It's such a nostalgic thing. Like, yeah, he just takes me back to like, it's
And
just such a nostalgia
you know,
thing.
guys like him are actually making me excited for when we eventually get this Ring of Honor show. I can't wait to see that dude on the mic and doing promos and stuff. You know.
I'm telling you, man, and like we've talked with Coach about this on the Discord. It's just we just got to get there. You know, they're
Yeah.
building up the time and they're building up the talent. I mean, and I think things are going to be. I'm really excited for next year. Like I'm just in terms of so many things, adding Ring of Honor, possibly adding to your touring in general, doing more shows. I just it's just such a reason to be excited. The TV deal coming up next year. It's just yeah, it could be a really, really huge year for AEW, all things considered.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, next up we had Lexi Nair backstage with Lee Moriarty and Stokely. Lee Moriarty basically said even though he lost to Moxley, his confidence has never been so high. He says he's going after some gold, and he says anybody with gold better watch out. And all of a sudden, Hook walks up. Hook doesn't really say anything. He just kind of makes it known of like, you want this? You know, come get it. So maybe we're gonna see Hook versus Lee Moriarty soon. Was that anything that they announced on the next Wednesday or at Full Gear type thing?
So no, nothing was announced for it. Which,
Okay.
if I had to guess, my opinion is that they'll probably have that during the 0 hour.
Yeah, Hook does the
Oh.
0 hours for the last couple, right?
Yeah, he has, and this is a matchup that I'm extremely interested in seeing. I really want to see this match. Hook versus Lee Moriarty seems like a really interesting matchup that they haven't done yet. And I mean, again, Hook hasn't really. There's a lot of guys I really want Hook to work with. But we'll
Did you
see.
notice Lee Moriarty's outfit looked like something that like The Rock would have been wearing back in the 90s?
I mean, you know, I think it's the confidence that these wrestlers in AEW
Yeah.
have. You know, that it's just they feel like they need to talk the talk and walk the walk, which I mean that's great. It's what you want to see from your young talent. You want to see people with initiative. You want to see people who are going to take the bull by the horns. I mean, I don't want to use a Vince McMahon thing and say brass rings because it's not quite that. But I mean, you know, I think that these guys, if they want to be the future, they need to want to be the future. And you know, simple things like just not giving a fuck and just trying to be what you think is like looking good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all swagger. I'm getting. That was a long way of me saying that swagger is important.
No,
So
I got you. All right, next up, kind of really wasn't a segment on the show, but it was a commercial with Daddy Magic and Cool Hand Luke for DraftKings. That was freaking awesome. They almost basically cut promos for DraftKings. It was pretty cool. But the next segment on the show was the House of Black video package. And dude, my first question is, who is this? Whose voice is this? Did you notice? It's no one. It's not anybody that's in the House of Black right now.
I don't know whose voice it is.
I'm really interested if this is going to be a wrestler. Does anybody know like Dutch Mantel's voice good enough? Like,
I don't think Dutch is gonna go to AEW.
no, yeah, I
And
don't know.
also that didn't sound like Dutch.
That's what I'm saying. I don't remember his voice at all.
Dutch has more of a, how do I want to put
Southern old man.
Yeah, more of a Southern old man, kind of middle cowboy country type thing.
This guy did sound British, didn't he? He sounded like he had like an English accent, actually.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that this is somebody that's going to be added to their house, you know, kind of like maybe like a I don't want to say a
I
leader.
honestly, I think it might just be a narrator that they have doing
That's what
these
I was
video
thinking
packages,
too.
which these video packages are phenomenal. So I'm glad that they're putting the effort into it. Um, they called themselves at one point, I believe, the Kingdom of Pain. Um, and I'm really excited for House of Black to come back. I'm really big fan of these guys. You know, I don't really want to talk about too much like about the House of Black leaving. Like, what was the reason? Was it a mental illness stuff? Did they need a break? Was it that, you know, Triple H wanted them to go back to WWE and this was them trying to get out? You know, I don't really know. And quite frankly, if they're willing to come back and honor their contracts, I don't really care. That was my point the whole time. I mean, I think
Yeah.
come back, honor your contracts, work out your contracts, do your deal, and then if you want to leave when your deal's up, that's fine. Part of me also wonders if maybe Malachi and Buddy are watching the product right now and realizing that maybe it's not, the grass isn't always greener. But I do think and feel like these segments, these video packages are leading up to House of Black being kind of reborn. I mean, that's kind of the whole point of it. You're looking at them, and this one tonight really definitely solidifies that with them kind of like again just being reborn. That was kind of the gist of the promo of the segment with Julia kind of overseeing them coming back. Um, so I'm hoping that this is kind of like a fresh start for them. I think that there were some things that kind of unfortunately derailed House of Black the first time around, and I'm really excited for them to come back and do some great work.
Yeah, I completely agree. I loved how it was kind of like it was like all of them being reborn. We had Brody rise from the ashes.
Mhm.
We had Buddy Murphy rise out of the water. Like I don't know what kind of a body of water it was, but he rose out of some water, and Malachi came up out of the fire. So that was kind of cool. I'm wondering if there's gonna be like elements involved with this, like Julia gonna be like the wind. You know what I mean?
No, I think again it was just them trying to signify like, hey, this is a reset. This is a fresh start for the House of Black.
Okay.
Like, you know what I mean? Like it's just them being reborn. Like
Yeah,
it's
that makes
you know,
sense.
rising from the grave. You know, being it's just ways of telling the same thing of them coming back to life. Um,
Gotcha.
and yeah, I think they're really well done, and I think it would be really cool to see them at Full Gear.
Oh yeah.
Could get a few returns at Full Gear. It could be really exciting.
Yo, so let's say at Full Gear we get the Elite come back. The Elite take the trios titles from Death Triangle, and then House of Black comes out and takes out the Elite, you know? And we get a feud.
So, my only thing with that is I would keep those two trios away from each other for a good while. Um,
Because they should be the ones to take them, huh? That's what I was thinking.
I don't even know, maybe, but I think my thing is that if you're bringing if both of these groups coming back, none of the six of them should be losing any matches anytime soon. Um,
I agree.
not in a meaningful way, anyways. And so I would say no. I would say I would not put them against each other. I think one of these trios will take the titles from Death Triangle. I mean, obviously, we have another week of TV to go. Maybe something will become more clear. Death Triangle is defending their trios titles on Dynamite, which we'll get into. I could see them maybe laying out an open challenge, or maybe we see the Elite come back or the House of Black come back before. There was a lot of rumblings that the Elite were supposed to return last Wednesday, 2 days ago, but
Really?
they ended up not. Well, they've been backstage for the past 3 weeks,
Okay.
but what for one reason or another they decided not to do it. Um, but I mean, we'll see what happens. I think it'll work out. I think everything's going to be fine. But yeah, we'll see. I would keep the two trios away from each other for a while.
Yeah, I actually agree. As soon as you said that, I was like, you know what? They should probably be the ones to dethrone whoever the next champions are.
Yeah,
So,
so like maybe it's wishful thinking. I mean, obviously, it's just kind of how AEW, wrestling in general is like your guys can't always win. But I would bring the House of Black back, and I would have them just be extremely dominant. I think Bray Wyatt going to WWE last time we were talking about House of Black, we were like, oh, if Bray Wyatt comes back, there could be maybe too much supernatural, spooky guys on the roster. Maybe they would kind of like interfere with each other's gimmicks a little bit. I think Bray not being in AEW, I mean, you let Malachi go and you let him be that guy and just let his creative take over. I mean, it can't be worse than Bray Wyatt's creative right now. So, I mean, he's feuding with LA Knight now, randomly. And I was like, really?
Oof.
And this is what I was saying. I mean, like, when he re-debuted and people in the Discord that like the Fed, they were like, this is incredible. And I was like, okay, where's he going to be at in 3 months? And
I mean, he was feuding with himself for like the last 2 weeks, so at least he actually has another human to feud with.
It's been a month, bro. What are you talking about? He's feuding with himself. And again, like, it's just it has not been very good, which really breaks my heart to see. And based off what I was looking at from SmackDown tonight, it didn't seem much better. So,
All right. Next up, we had Rush El Toro Blanco versus Bandido. My favorite signing in AEW this year. Even though like Swerve is amazing and all of that, this dude, I love this guy. I don't know what it is. Maybe the match we got to see live with Jericho, where he held him up for 60 seconds in the air, like. Just something about this dude. I love Bandido. I can't wait to see his first shirt coming out with AEW. I'm buying that shit. Like,
hold on, time out, Coach. Look, it's not that I hate LA Knight. Okay, it's just like
he's all right.
That's what they have for Bray Wyatt. Like he came back, like on fire. Biggest return in WWE, it probably in like 10 years. I don't think I'm wrong on that. I mean, Fed fans will say Cody, but fuck Cody Rhodes. But it's just like, really, like, this is what you have for him? Like, just a cold feud being thrown in there with LA Knight, who like just ditched this Max Dupree gimmick. So it's like, all right, this just kind of feels like it's just thrown together haphazardly with duct tape and paper clips. But sure.
I mean, I'm glad they ditched that Max Dupree gimmick, but the way that they ditched it was just kind of like, what?
One day he was just like, I'm sick of this.
He's like, that's not my name. What are you talking about? And I was just like, what are you talking about? I was, what just happened?
Dude, again, this is my biggest problem, right? Like WWE, like the booking and the storytelling, and this is not a knock on the talent. There are a lot of talented people working in WWE. I've said it many times. My problem is not with the talent per se, except for Cody Rhodes. Go fuck yourself, Dustin, or Cody Rhodes. But like, it's just like they just come off as such idiots and like such geeks. Where it's like if you had a wrestling promotion and it was just 100 Brandon Cutlers, which I love Brandon Cutler as Brandon Cutler, but like. Brandon Cutler as the world champion. Brandon Cutler is number one contender. Brandon Cutler is like, come on, man. It's just not. He's just not. I don't know. Like they just come off as idiots. Like they're all just dumb. He's like, wait a minute. Maybe I'm not a male model coordinator.
That's hilarious.
He's like, wait a second. This isn't who I am. I'm this entirely different person. Like, okay, all right. I guess Like it's just dumb. It's just. Can they not be dumb? Like, that's my thing. Can they just not be like the biggest idiots? Specifically WWE baby faces. Like, these guys are like the biggest, like, but it's heels too, I guess, because I'm still 3 weeks, 3 weeks out from the Miz thing, and I'm still just sitting here like, they really just have the Miz just paying people to just fuck with himself. He's fucking with himself, and he's paying for it. That's some masochist shit right there.
I saw a clip where they like revealed it with Project Veritas shit. Did you see that? They had like an undercover lady with an undercover camera filming the Miz at a dinner table, and he was like, "Can I tell you a secret?" He's like, "I did. I paid for all of it." He's like, "I totally did." I was like, "What is happening?"
No.
They straight up did the Project Veritas stuff, dude. It was hilarious.
What more can you say?
Let's see if I can trigger that battle royale. Apparently not. Oh, there it goes. All right, cool. All right. This match with Rush and Bandido kicked so much ass. I loved this match. Before the bell started, of course, Roosh comes flying over the top ropes, takes out Bandido on the outside, throws him into every single corner, I believe, of the barricades. Throws him in the ring. Finally, we get the bell. This match was freaking awesome, man. Like, these two had an amazing luchador match, just back and forth, trading, trading blows here and there. What else can you say? I thought this was a great match for. Is it right to say Bandido's first match as an AEW signee?
So yes, he did officially sign with the company. They announced it on the broadcast tonight, but at least I haven't seen the graphic, the All Elite graphic. So I'm not sure why they didn't do that yet, but they did
I
confirm.
thought they did like last week.
Did they? I don't remember seeing it.
I'm not sure, but I feel like I've seen it. But there's definitely a chance that it was just in my head.
Yeah, I don't believe I ever saw it, but they they announced it on commentary. He's part of the company. He chose AEW over the offer that WWE sent him. Big reason for that, this is from the Observer. Big reason for that was his family. He has his family. They live in Mexico. They didn't want to move to the States. He would have to move his family to Orlando. They were going to put him in NXT, which. Why? Why are you putting Bandido in your developmental? Like,
oh god, I would have said no too.
Like, why? But so like basically what happened was that he was number one, he didn't want to relocate his family out, to a different country because he just comes here for work. He doesn't reside here. And then the other thing was once he went on the main roster, he knew he would never see his family, and that was a legitimate kind of final straw for him between the two. Where and again, this is all via Meltzer. Where he was just like, yeah, I got to put my family's important to me, and he knows that the AEW schedule works in a way where he can see his family, and you can't blame the guy. I think that's a great reason to want to choose to work somewhere. I mean, that work home life balance is really important.
Yeah. Now, didn't you say that he agreed, like, in his contract to work X amount of matches over the course of 3 years? And it's more than certain guys do in a year or something like that?
Now, yes, it was. The reason that still means he can still see his family is that you're looking at AEW doing TV matches. You know what I mean? Like, even if they start doing a house show circuit, he could still do, a bunch of Dynamites, a bunch of Rampages, and still be home to see his family 4 out of 7 days a week. You know what I mean?
Okay, that makes sense.
So whereas in WWE, like, they do Raw, and then they do a house show. They literally are at the point now where they do multiple house shows on a single day. Like, I remember I was on Twitter today, and apparently the day after Christmas has a house show in Madison Square Garden, and they also have a house show in Cincinnati. And there's a little bit of a negative buzz because usually the day after Christmas MSG show, I guess WWE runs it every year. It's usually a really big house show for them where all of their biggest names are there, but a bunch of them, including like Seth Rollins and Ronda Rousey and a few others, they're working the Cincinnati show that day. So this huge annual Christmas house show isn't going to be what it usually is, which, I mean, I don't really care, but that's just my point is they do a bunch of house shows when not doing TV.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
He must be the type of guy that can just kind of fly in, do a match, fly home, That's
Yeah, we've heard it a million times from people talking about the WWE schedule. They're usually only home 1 day a week. They have to end up getting like these friggin' travel buses because of how much traveling they do. Like, they're away from home like over 300 days a year. So it's like
wild.
You can't blame them. Whereas like in AEW, and again, I think this is the upside to AEW in the sense that like they do Dynamite, and they do a lot of these, and even if they do a Rampage, like let's say they do 2 shows a week, it's 2, and you don't even need to be on both necessarily.
Yeah.
You show up on Dynamite, maybe you don't. And again, I've suggested that they do this, and I think it would really work. If you're not going to do like separate rosters, which I understand, like just have it be on a cycle where it's like, okay, these guys and girls are on the A cycle right now. They're going to be on Dynamite for the next month. these guys and girls are going to have their stories on Rampage for the next month. And obviously they can make some changes. It happens. But like just have it cycle through where like all these wrestlers are working one show a week and they can do whatever they want other than that.
Yeah, it's a great point. Absolutely.
It's a great way to mitigate all of the issues of having two shows. And it's one of the few things that WWE over the last 20 years did really well, which of course they always fucked it up by undoing it. But having two different brands really always made a lot of sense because you can have them tour and they would come together, but they also could do their own thing. And I think it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, absolutely. So in this match, I was really shocked to see a interference from the Dark Order. When I heard the Dark Order's music play, I thought for sure we were going to get 10 to come out because he's been so involved. But it's John Silver comes running out and causes a little bit of a distraction. He gets into it with Jose, right?
Yeah, so John Silver came out because Jose was attacking Bandido behind while Roosh had the ref distracted.
Yeah, so John Silver comes out, he distracts Roosh, and Bandido picks up the win. I was absolutely shocked to see Bandido pick up this win, even though I probably shouldn't have been. But yeah, man, I'm so happy I get to see Bandido go on to the next round of this tournament. I'm super happy.
Yeah, I love Bandido. I think it was such a great signing, and the coach said it too. It's just a huge signing for AEW. The dude is just so talented, and there's just something about him. Like he has that charisma that we talk about with Dante Martin, where if he could just find that would be great. Like Bandido, even though he wears a mask, he has that charisma. I was watching his match, and yes, he does a bunch of Eddie Guerrero stuff to pay homage to him, but like I get Eddie Guerrero vibes when I'm watching Bandido, and I know that like I don't want to go like too strong because Eddie Guerrero one of the greatest of all time, but like watching this guy is just like you just connect with him, and he wears a fucking mask, which like not even like a mask where you see parts of his face. You don't see any of this guy's face, but there's something about this guy and the way he performs and the way he goes about his stuff. Like the crowd was counting things in Spanish. I mean, obviously Roosh is Spanish, Hispanic too. So it's not just strictly a Bandido thing, but Bandido made it a thing because he was so smart. He saw that the crowd was counting in Spanish for the count out. So they got to 8 and they roll back in the ring, or maybe they were down and they got up, whichever one it was. They count to 8 in Spanish, the crowd does. And obviously the count stops because both guys are in the ring standing up. Bandido pushes Roosh into the corner and along with the fans finishes the 10 count because he wants to get the crowd behind him, to get them riled up behind him. And it's little things like that. Like, I can't really pinpoint it, but he just has like an it factor in the ring. Yep. And it's super infectious. You want to watch him, you want to root for him.
For me to say he's my favorite signing of 2022 is insane. Like there's Keith Lee, there's the Swerve, like that's wild,
Yeah, I would still say Swerve is my favorite signing so far, but I mean, Bandido is it's a close second. Like it's a really good signing.
All right, so Bandido picks up the win. He's moving on in the Eliminator tournament. Next up, we had a quick face-to-face with Jake Hager cutting a promo on Claudio Castagnoli in the back. That should be a great match between those two, huh?
Well, they didn't have a match. What are you talking about?
I know that. I'm saying like this has to lead to a match. I mean, if they're gonna have a face-to-face in some sort of promo, eventually we gotta do something, don't we?
I mean, well, did you hear the promo?
I heard a little bit of it. What exactly is going down?
So Hager shows up and he says, "I don't want to fight. We used to be a tag team. We used to be a great tag team. And you have to admit that." And Claudio's like, "Yeah, we were a great tag team." And he says, basically, he's like, "Hey, you're a great pro wrestler, but you know what you were better at? Being a sports entertainer. And why don't you come and sports entertain with me?" And he was basically implying like, "Why don't you come be a part of the Jericho Appreciation Society?"
Yeah.
I don't know if this is going to lead to a match between the two necessarily. I think that this could be leading. I think the Blackpool Combat Club, unfortunately, may be about to implode.
Yeah.
I think maybe what the plan is. Oh man. Yeah, coach, they did fight already. part of me wonders if it's going to be like Wheeler Yuta and Claudio go one way and Danielson and Mox go the other way. Or maybe
Possible.
Danielson and Mox just go period and do other things. I don't know, but I think that this is just part of a storyline of sowing the dissension in the ranks in the Blackpool Combat Club. We've seen it kind of growing over time, and I think we're going to see it continue to grow next week. I mean, obviously they have the tag match, but then keep in mind both Claudio and Bryan Danielson are both going for the Ring of Honor title on Saturday. So, you got to think that they're probably just, planting the seeds of a possible breakup, or maybe it's something they can overcome. I don't know.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, next up we had Nyla Rose with a open challenge versus Kayla Sparks. I actually enjoyed this much better than I did the freaking match that we had the last week when the spotlight was on Jade. This was actually done really well. Nyla, she kind of mocked Jade the entire time. She used all of Jade's moves, and she destroyed Kayla Sparks in about a minute and a half.
It was like 10 seconds.
What's that?
It was like 10 seconds.
Yeah, it was like 10. I think it was like 30 seconds, if that, maybe. I'm not sure, but
no
she hit
way.
the whole pump kick. She hit a few moves. It had to be at least.
She did Jade's pump kick and then did the blackout, or not blackout. That's Lance Archer's move. She did the jaded.
Yeah, the jaded.
And then pinned her and did the thing that Jade does, where she's like licking her hand.
Oh yeah.
But so this is like 30 seconds. I thought this was an excellent squash match. I loved her just mocking Jade completely.
It was perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
You could tell right away that's what she was doing.
Yeah.
So Jade comes out, of course, with the baddies. Jade immediately actually gets the upper hand on Nyla. I was kind of surprised there. I thought Nyla was going to run away from her, but Jade gets the upper hand. She gets her with the pump kick, but unfortunately Nyla does escape with the belt. Jade was trying to get the referee to get her the belt, but he was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And Nyla escapes with the belt. So we will have to see what happens at Full Gear. See if she gets her belt back, huh?
Yeah, I really enjoy that this match coming up at Full Gear, the title graphic, like the graphic for the card for both of them, they both have the title. I think that's just, it's been a really fun segment. It's been really well done to just see Jade, or I'm sorry, to see Nyla just constantly have the belt, and like she's announced as the TBS champion ? Or like when she's defending the title, she defended her title tonight, and it was like on the card for tonight, it was like in quotation marks, like TBS champion, open challenge.
Like the self-appointed champion.
Yeah, the self-proclaimed TBS champion. But yeah, I think this has been really fun. I think this is leading up to a pretty good match at Full Gear.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, next up, it was time for the main event. And man, this Mark Henry segment was hilarious. We had QT Marshall in the factory and Lee Johnson do their thing for a moment. But Orange Cassidy just interrupts and he whips out his own microphone that had his own logo on it. One of my favorite things I have ever seen. And he just immediately is like, it's time for the main event. And Mark Henry has to interrupt him and he's like, Orange, no, that's my thing, man. And he's like, time for the main event? This was so good. I love Orange Cassidy.
I really loved this back and forth, the ongoing back and forth between Orange Cassidy and Mark Henry. Cassidy just keeps trying to steal his gimmick. Look, man, I don't want to be Mr. Broken Record. I feel like sometimes I am on the show. This guy is Wrestler of the Year. Like, I'm sorry. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it every single fucking week. Coach Nick saying, I don't know what else Orange Cassidy has to do. He's simply amazing. Exactly. This man is just incredible. And there is true irony. Like, I believe that irony is one of the most beautiful things. Do you agree with that, Jeff?
I do, sir.
I just find it so ironic that one of the biggest reasons I walked away from WWE, right? It's not the biggest, but it's one of the biggest, was Roman Reigns, right? And this man does his Superman punch. How is it that my fucking favorite wrestler does the exact same finishing move.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then even at the end of the show, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but at the end of the show, they close the show with the best friends doing the Shield power bomb to fucking Cole Carter with
Yeah,
Orange
I actually
Cassidy.
wrote that. I wrote Cole Carter eats a shield slam. That's what I wrote. I wrote
Yeah,
shield
and like
slam.
they have Orange playing the role of Roman Reigns, and like part of me really wonders, like, is that intentional? Do they see like everyone comparing the two because of the same finisher? They were like, bro, let's just do the Shield power bomb. Like,
So, Rome,
yeah.
how you doing tonight, sir?
Oh wow, here we go. I'm doing pretty good.
I'm about to possibly shock you here.
Nothing can shock me anymore.
Over this past, I guess, month, maybe two,
Okay.
Orange Cassidy has officially changed my mind on whether he can be the world champion.
Let's fucking go. I'm not shocked.
I now support full 100% in my heart for Orange Cassidy to one day be the AEW world champion. What he has done with his character over these past couple months is absolutely what needed to be done to change my mind. 100%.
Jeff, I'm going to read you a quote that happened on commentary tonight. Who in pro wrestling is hotter than Orange Cassidy? And this was said by Jim fucking Ross. Look, man, I love this guy. I love this guy so much. Like he's my favorite wrestler. He's my favorite wrestler. And like I think he's just so talented. Everything he does, he's either a part of a super exciting, excellent match, or he's making me fucking die laughing on the mic. Like this guy just has it.
Yeah.
Coach, it's because here's the thing about me, right? I don't have the sunglasses. All right, I'm not a heel anymore. But like I know my shit. I know what I'm talking about. So what I enjoy in life is just kind of getting people on the right track. It's okay to make mistakes. It's not about the mistakes you make along the way. It's how you pick yourself up and you correct the mistakes and how you move forward. Which is why, like, look, guys, I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to tell how I see it. And I've been watching wrestling for over 20 years. Now, granted, Jeff's been watching wrestling for like 60 years. So I understand everyone's entitled to their own opinion. However, I just think, and I don't know how to say this without coming off as just a fucking douche. Like, I just know my stuff. I see Orange Cassidy. I'm like, this guy's got it. It's like I can't wait to And I remember when they first like day one AEW, and they announced his signing at the first Double or Nothing, and I remember like it was just a blender and like he walks and you don't see his face, you just see like chest down, like the jean jacket and the white t-shirt and like the jeans, and you just see like an orange get put in, and like no, it wasn't even orange. He put an AEW piece of paper that said AEW contract in it, poured orange juice in it, and just starts the blender. And that's how we get Orange Cassidy, like his first appearance. And like since day one, I was just like, man, I really like this guy. This guy's got it. This guy could do it. Like there's something about him. And like here we are in 2022, and like this guy's he's my wrestler of the year. I think everything he does is fantastic. I think everything he does is excellent. God damn it, I don't know how you're gonna convince me that match of the year isn't him versus Will Ospreay at Forbidden Door.
Oh God.
Jeff, best of fucking luck to you. You're gonna have if you're gonna have your work fucking cut out for you. If you think that you're gonna try and talk me off of that, because
I was there live, man. I can't think of anything else that I would be putting on top of that right now.
yeah, and Coach is right. Like he's doing something that's never been seen before. It's just such a unique character, and it's just again like this man. Jeff, you were making fun of me, or not making fun of me, but cracking jokes like, "Oh, look at Orange Cassidy at the New Jersey Devils game wearing a Jersey Devils jersey. That must really upset you, Rome." And I'm like, "No, like this guy. Oh, he went. Who was he there with? He was there with Jade and Ricky Starks. These
Yep.
are the people that AEW wants you. Like the people that don't watch AEW. Those are the people that AEW wants you to know, and like that's extremely telling." Orange Cassidy is one of those guys. He does all of the press stuff. He goes to the news sites when they're in town. Like if you go YouTube it, he does all of these shows with all of these news people. You know what I mean? Like, he is their press guy. They send him places because there's just something about him that the casual audience, the non-wrestling fan audience, want to get behind this guy because he's funny, he's entertaining, he's very simple to understand. It's just good pro wrestling at its core, while also being something that's very new and modern and fresh. Um, I'm an Orange Cassidy mark. I'm gonna admit it, but like, this is the guy. And like, the people on Twitter, like I remember Will Washington from Fightful did a thing a few months back where he was like, he's like, I'm talking. I showed wrestling. I had a friend who doesn't watch pro wrestling, watch pro wrestling, and the biggest takeaway was that her favorite wrestler, and not just AEW, both AEW and WWE, her favorite wrestler in that week that she saw was Orange Cassidy. And a lot of casuals, non wrestling fans, say this. Like, it happens a lot. Danhausen's another one that people seem to really like, based off of things I've seen on on Twitter and people talking to non wrestling fans. But Orange Cassidy is a huge one. People just fucking love him, and it's just simple. And you can cosplay him. It's simple to cosplay this guy, and it's just he's just great, man. He's just fucking excellent.
Yeah, he's amazing. And to be fair, you put me on the track of wanting to see him do something to change my mind. He's the one who changed my mind. You know what I'm saying? I'm just kind of putting that out there.
No, I know. Again, I'm semi kidding. That's why I was looking
No,
for
I
the
know.
glasses, but I don't have
I was
them.
more talking to Coach, because he was kind of like, you changed my mind, but you were definitely an instrument, a part of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely do change people's minds a lot.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's definitely a thing. Coach is still valid in saying that. Anyways.
All right. So first thing I wrote down here was Orange Cassidy is a megastar. This dude is he's so over. This guy's amazing. Cole Carter tries to get himself involved very early, and he eats an orange punch for it. But that does let, Lee Johnson get the upper hand for a little while in the match. These guys go back and forth. Lee Johnson hits a big blue thunder bomb. That's one of my favorite moves in wrestling. Sami Zayn was the only guy that I was seeing use it. So nice to see Lee Johnson use that one there. After that, Trent kind of throws a spear onto Nick Camarado on the outside, who was trying to get involved as well. Orange Cassidy hits the beach break onto a distracted Lee Johnson and gets the 1, 2, 3. This was actually really good. After the match, Cole Carter kind of was stuck in the middle of the ring, and he wound up getting the 3-way hug from the Best Friends and Orange Cassidy. And he was celebrating getting the hug, but he ate a shield slam for his troubles there. That is what I wrote down, was shield slam. So I'm glad earlier you said he ate the shield finisher. I was hoping I wasn't the only one that thought that.
Yeah, again, I just find it super ironic. And yes, Coach, King's Court for life. Absolutely. I don't even know where the High Rollers are. The High Rollers are just they lost. They were in Vegas, and they played on the tables, and they fucking lost. They're
we done been evicted from the High Roller room.
Yeah, right. But no, I mean, it's just I love this match. I don't really have any notes for it. I just watch.
No, it was so good.
I just watch Orange Cassidy matches. I sit there and I watch them, and I'm just like, wow, this is another great match. Lee Johnson had an awesome match here too. It was great to see him again. Him coming back from injury. He was out for a little while. I think, you know what, here's a non-Orange Cassidy take about this Orange Cassidy match. I think Lee Johnson being in the factory is actually going to elevate the factory.
I do too. They were kind of boring, and he's a little not boring.
So here's the thing, right? It's just kind of how it works in pro wrestling. You need a Serpentico. You need the factory, because they're the heel faction that the lower mid card and mid card will go up against. So like, I never had a problem with the factory. I know a lot of people really don't like QT. I think QT is a very smart wrestler. I think he really understands the psychology side of wrestling. QT is the kind of guy, like, how, and Coach Nick can attest to this. How like
real,
sometimes
Coach.
Like players go into coaching, even sometimes at like backup quarterbacks go into coaching, and like coaches played, but they were never like the top guy. I mean, I'm sure there's some examples, but you get what I'm saying. like generally speaking, these guys that become coaches, they have the mind for the game, but maybe they couldn't physically do it themselves on the field. And I think QT is that guy where it's like QT is a super smart guy who gets the psychology. He has
Yep.
his own wrestling academy. He's a higher up executive in AEW, and he's doing all the coaching and doing all the work. I mean, on TV, and is his wrestling skills really super and super special? Like, not exactly. No, coach, it's not a negative. If that came off as a dig at you, it was not intended. I'm just saying, like, maybe I'm wrong. Point me out if I'm wrong, but I feel like most coaches they were players, but they weren't like the top guys players. And that's not about you, it's about coaches in general. Just saying. They have the mind.
CQT like the Bill Belichick type. Okay.
Exactly. Right. Thank you. That's what I'm saying. I just think QT's super smart and he gets it. And I think him working with these young guys in the factory makes a lot of sense. And I think he's serviceable in the ring. So yeah, I'm okay with him existing. But I think Lee Johnson could be a focal point in this faction.
I 100% agree. I like that dude. He just needs a little bit of more fire. Like Dante, I feel like he just needs that little bit of charisma to take him to the next level. But yeah, those guys are awesome. Did you notice, I feel like mentioning this now, did you notice it said Dante was back with his brother next week?
Yes. Yeah, he's teaming up with Darius. Darius is back next week.
So it almost seems like they're like, listen, Darius, you're not getting any surprise returns or anything until you prove you can stay healthy for a while or something. Because this was just like, yeah, he's back. Here you go.
Yeah, coach, that's what I was referring more so to the NFL level. Like, yeah, they have the mind for it, but they didn't do anything in terms of on the field. I mean, Nick Sirianni was a wide receiver in college, but that didn't turn into anything in terms of play.
Coach Nick, a 2-time All-American. Damn.
And look, again, I didn't say it was about the coach. I was talking about, in general, coaches. You know what I mean? Like,
No, yeah, I'm sure he agrees with you just to a certain extent.
Yeah, I know. I was just trying to make a point that QT is a very smart wrestling mind, even if he can't go in the ring.
100% agree. All right. So another thing, this was Orange Cassidy's 75th win in AEW. I'm not sure. Is there anybody with 100 or anything like that? Have they ever announced someone with 100?
No, I don't think so.
I think that's a lot of wins, man. I'm hoping he's on the top of that list.
Let's see.
Oh, you're gonna look it up, aren't you?
I am. Let's see here.
So if you didn't catch it, what I said is this was Orange Cassidy's 75th win in the AEW, and I'm not sure if anybody has more than that. So we are looking it up right now to see if anybody's got more than 75 W's in their win column. What did Jungle Boy have? He's probably got a bunch of losses, man.
Cage match isn't helpful because it's doing like every year. So hold on, let's keep looking. Let's see here.
What did Jungle Boy have? They haven't really said it. Oh, he got some award, or was it Sheeta? That was Sheeta. Sheeta had the award for 50 wins.
Jack Perry did the same. Jack Perry also hit 50 wins.
Okay, he got 50 as well. Okay.
Yeah, hold on. I'm trying to figure this out. Let's see.
I want Cassidy to get 100 with that belt. That'd be sick. Not like 100 altogether with the belt, but reach 100 wins while holding the belt. Yep, see that? Danielson agrees with me. It's all right. We'll find it somewhere.
See, the problem is that Cage Match has everything, but it splits it up from year to year. I'm looking for like
okay.
I'm looking for like a total right now. Can I get an all?
Well, AEW kind of splits it up year to year themselves, so I do understand them doing that. No worries.
Yeah, but still, I want to see if I can.
So real quick, while he's looking that up, if you guys are not aware, tomorrow night we are going to be doing episode 1 of the Game Room. This will be the Broken Tables podcast gaming podcast tomorrow night. We're going to be doing gaming news and just some general talk about video games in general. We'll talk about the games we're playing at the moment and, stuff like that. So if you guys can join us tomorrow night, we will be doing episode 1 of our gaming podcast, the Game Room. And if you're not subscribed already, please hit that subscribe button so you'll know when we go live. If you are subscribed, join our Discord. The Discord will always let you know when we go live and when new videos come out.
Yeah, I'm super excited to start the Game Room tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really excited to kind of get into it and start doing it. And
I can't wait to show you guys the new setup that'll be going on down below there. It's gonna be sweet. Any luck on finding the totals?
No, I'm trying to. Again, everything I'm finding has it broken up year to year, and I'm looking. Well, let's see. Hold on. We have the Sportster has an article. Let's see. This was back in June, though. 10
Yeah,
wrestlers with the most wins. Oh, with the most title matches. No, that's not what I'm looking for.
When I type it into Google, it corrects me. Who is the best player in AEW?
That's
I'm
funny.
sorry, Google. That's not the correct wording.
I mean, I guess theoretically I can go to AEW's roster website, but I know that they don't always update their website super quickly.
You know, it might be Jericho. I would imagine Jericho's above 100.
No, because here's the thing, how often does Jericho wrestle? I mean, obviously he's been wrestling a decent amount since All Out, but like before All Out, this guy wasn't wrestling every week.
All right, let's see here.
All right, hold
So,
on. I think I figured out a way to find this. Hold on. Let's see. Aaron Solo 2170, Adam Cole 26. Adam Page has won 58 matches. Really, Alex Reynolds 57 and 41. Really? Wow. That's fascinating. Anthony Bowens is 51-26. I'm trying to look at like noticeable stuff. The Guns are pretty good too. Austin Gunn. Jeff, guess the win-loss record career in AEW for Austin Gunn. You're not going to get it.
Real quick, we just got a subscribe from Liber Sauver. Thank you very much. Maybe that's one of our viewers from France that we were taking a look at today. If you guys didn't see in Discord, I posted a picture of all of our viewers from around the world. We got over like 12 different countries, so welcome everybody. Thank you guys very much, whether you're on Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, or Amazon or Spotify, wherever you may catch us. Thank you guys very much. You're saying Austin Gunn's win-loss record?
Yeah, what do you think his win-loss record in AEW is?
He's got to be sub 500. Are you telling me he's won more than he's lost?
Yes.
What?
When I tell you this number, you're going to be like, what the fuck? Like, I don't even know. Like, this is making me question whether this is actually correct or not.
I can't even begin to guess. Throw it at me.
Austin Gunn is 56 and 10.
Damn.
In 2022, he's 19 and 7.
That's a really good record for all around and just this year.
You know, looking at the win-loss records, most of the wrestlers actually have positive win-loss records. It's actually kind of fascinating. Bryan Danielson, 32 and 8 with 2 ties. Cash Wheeler, 48-12. Chris Jericho, 50 wins, 20 losses, 1 tie, or 1 whatever, no contest. So he's at 50. Chuck Taylor's at 60. He's 60 and 33. CM Punk, Colt Cabana. Colton Gunn, 58 and 9, even better than his brother. He's won more and lost less.
What? That's crazy.
Dante Martin is 63 and 34. Darby Allin is 68 and 25 with 1 no contest. Dax is 49 and 18 with 1 no contest. Eddie Kingston, coach say 22-7. Holy shit! Before the year, he was 34 and 3. Well, the thing is, the Gun Club actually were undefeated throughout the pandemic era. Like they did a bunch of matches when they were baby faces. Evil Uno is 69 and 35. Frankie Kazarian 74-33. Holy crap! Is that? I mean, I
believe that he was one of their workhorses for a while.
That's true. That is true. Fuego del Sol 13 and 61. Hook is 14 and 0. That's crazy that Hook's only wrestled 14 times. I feel like I've watched this guy wrestle for like 5 years.
Me too, right?
He's really good. Isaiah Cassidy 53 and 56. hold on, we're getting down there. We're in the J's right now. John Silver, 65-34. Okay, so John Moxley is 86 wins, 12 losses, 1 no contest.
That's
So
the closest I've seen. Okay, so somebody does have over 75.
Jungle Boy Jack Perry is 81-42. So that's 2 guys above 75. I'm just gonna keep scrolling a little bit. Luchasaurus is also 71-26. So that's 3 guys above, or no, that's below 75. So
Yeah.
still only 2. Oh wait, was Jack Perry? Did I say 75 or he was 81, right?
81, yeah.
Okay. Matt Jackson 61-27.
Coach
Max,
said Frankie's killing it in Impact currently as well. Yeah,
yeah,
man.
he's the X Division champion.
I think he just exercised option C, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
That means he's turning in the X Division Championship for a shot at the world title, if you're not aware.
Okay, so for the record, these win-losses seem to be a little outdated because on the website, Orange Cassidy's record is 68-26. So that means this is probably like 2 months old.
Okay.
Just take that with a grain of salt. So that means Mox's is higher, Jack Perry's is higher, but no one else really comes that much closer. I mean, I guess Luchasaurus probably tops him at that point. I'm in the S's. So I don't know who else is going to have that high of a win-loss to be up that high. Let's see. Sting is 12-0. Okay.
Nice. Ooh, Sting's 12-0. He's about to be going up against Double J. He might eat his first loss here.
Karashida is 66-15.
Yeah, Coach Moxley's got to be pushing 100, huh? If that's about a month
Well,
old.
if he was at 81, he's probably wrestled like 5 or 6 times. He's probably pushing 90 soon.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the R's right now. Riho's 32-12.
What was Jericho? Did you see Jericho on there?
Yeah, Jericho was at 50 wins. And
Okay.
if this is like 2 months old, he's probably won like 4 or 5 matches, so he's in the mid-50s at this point.
Yeah. He has ate a lot of L's. You're right, Coach.
Yep, and that's it. Yeah, so I mean, basically, that's what we're looking at. We're looking at maybe like 3 or 4 guys who have more wins than Orange Cassidy.
That's wild. All right, excellent episode of Rampage. I'm super happy. Orange Cassidy looked great. Bandido looked great. This whole show was fantastic. As far as I'm concerned now, any of these people that are like, "Oh, I'm not even watching Rampage," you're just a hater. You're being a clown. There's no reason. Watch Rampage.
Yeah, it's a really good show. I mean, I don't see why if you like pro wrestling.
Yeah.
I don't know why you're not watching it.
It's great. It's a great hour of pro wrestling. You know what I mean? Like, it's Friday night. It's a great hour of pro wrestling. Just, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
All right. So, what do we got going on for next Wednesday?
All right. Well, next Wednesday it is the Go Home Dynamite show for Full Gear. It seems like it's a very promo heavy show, which I mean I'm always down for.
Yeah.
We will hear from John Moxley. We're also going to hear from MJF. Claudio Castagnoli and Bryan Danielson will take on Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara. We will hear from Samoa Joe, so I would expect that 3-way dance or maybe Samoa Joe Wardlow to get added to the card for the pay-per-view. We have the semifinal world title eliminator match, Ethan Page versus Bandido. We will hear from Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, and Saraya. They made it seem like they're going to be 2 separate promos though, because they said Tony Schiavone would speak to Britt and Renee Paquette would speak to Saraya. The Acclaimed will release a new music video titled A Hand for a Hand.
Let's go.
We will also have the AEW Interim Women's World Championship Eliminator match. Toni Storm versus the Bunny. If the Bunny wins, she will get a title. She will be the first one to get a title shot following Full Gear. The AEW World Trios Championships will be on the line. Death Triangle will take on Top Flight, again the returning Darius Martin, and AR Fox.
You ever heard of that guy?
Yeah, he did a match on Dark. He was really good. I think he did some work in Impact amongst other places. Very
Okay.
talented.
I wasn't familiar. I'm interested.
I haven't seen a lot, so I'm not gonna say a lot about him. I've heard he's very good.
Yeah, I'm not going to pretend I've ever seen him. I have no idea, but
Yeah. Announced for Full Gear so far, we have the AEW World Championship, Jon Moxley defending against Maxwell Jacob Friedman. The AEW Interim Women's World Championship, Toni Storm defending against Jamie Hayter. The AEW World Tag Team Championships are on the line. The Acclaimed are defending against Swerve and Our Glory. The Ring of Honor World Championship will be on the line in a four-way dance. Chris Jericho defending against Bryan Danielson, Claudio Castagnoli, and Sammy Guevara. The TBS Championship is on the line where Jade will defend the title against Nyla Rose. We have Sting and Darby Allin versus Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett. Dr. Britt Baker DMD versus Saraya. A cage match, Jungle Boy Jack Perry versus Luchasaurus.
nice. That's going to be incredible.
And I would expect a few more things to be announced this upcoming week.
Yeah, where's Hangman at?
Well, Hangman's at home with the concussion.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'm sure he's getting back on his feet. I'm sure he's probably better by now. I don't know. Part of me wants to see him come up with the Elite. I kind of want the Elite to get back together. You know, that's kind of what I really want.
Yeah,
Maybe
like a
they'll
big whole faction under that Wayward Sons copyright we saw.
I think that they were just doing that for more of a t-shirt thing. I don't think they were going to completely repackage to be the Wayward Sons, but they're probably going to use that term to define themselves or to describe themselves. But yeah, no, I think the Elite should come back. See, that's the thing, because I feel like the Elite were getting they were preparing to turn face, I feel like, and now I think they're still going to be faces. But part of me is like, do they want to do this thing where it's like, I don't know, where it's like them.
They'll be if they want to be, they'll be faces when they come back because they're gonna get cheered like crazy immediately. So
I think they will get cheered. I think that the majority of wrestling fans really do blame CM Punk for the whole issue. As do I. So I mean, I do think that it'll be Starks versus Archer as well, right? You know what's funny, Coach? They did not announce that.
Yeah, they didn't.
Huh.
I think they forgot because they moved it.
Maybe. I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens. I mean, to be fair, hold on. Let me just really double quick check. I don't think they announced a lot of matches. So, I mean, they're probably going to have to announce a few more matches.
Yeah, that's a good point.
1, 2, 3, 4. So they only have 4 matches announced. So I'm sure they'll fit one more match on there.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for tonight. You want to go ahead and close us out, sir?
Absolutely. Well, this has been episode 89 of the Broken Tables podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider giving us a like and subscribe or a follow, depending on where you find us. Of course, if you're watching this is our Friday Rampage show, which is exclusive to youtube.com. Thank you to everyone checking us out. Please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Like I said, you can follow us at all of our social media stuff down below. Just a reminder, tomorrow is the first episode of the Game Room podcast. Like Jeff said, we're going to do kind of a quick rundown episode. Not really quick. It's going to be a full episode, but it's going to be a rundown episode where we're going to explain how the show is going to work and what we're going to do. Please join us live tomorrow. Jeff, how's 8 p.m. Eastern sound?
Sounds good.
Okay, tomorrow here on youtube.com at 8 p.m. Eastern, or if you're the coach, 3 hours later, or 3 hours earlier. Come hang out with us while we talk video games, But until then, we'll see you guys tomorrow.
All right. And like I said, thank you guys, everybody around the world who does listen to us and watches us live here on YouTube or wherever you may get your podcast from. So thank you guys very much for joining us tonight, and until tomorrow night, top guys out.